First 10 seconds will be like, we will pay you $5 to take this moose picture. It's going to be that clip right there. We are live. Actually, I missed it by like a second there.
Missed what?
Hitting it right when you said 3, 2, 1. Because it always asks me if I am sure I want to proceed without a video source.
Well, that's nice. Doesn't want you being reckless.
I know, but
you
like
podcast recklessly.
You think after like the 30th time I've hit that button, it's like, okay, clearly this guy wants to proceed without a video source. This is not.
Maybe it's the reverse. He's like, all right. I know I've said this before, but no way, 38 times.
It's like, why wouldn't he want a video source?
I can't believe it's gone on this long.
Cheers today. What do you think of it? I don't love it, to be honest.
It's a little bad.
It's tasting more like the liqueur than the espresso, which makes sense because we didn't have that much espresso today.
Yeah.
I kind of drank a lot of espresso today.
That'll do it.
Yeah. Did I tell you about the Dwayne Reed next door?
That they're going out of business and selling everything for cheap?
Cheap.
Yeah.
And I bought, for those listeners at home, like 160 beers for $55, I think, the other day. Wonderful deal. All in 12 packs, though, so we had to walk out like we were basically robbing it. But they had these espresso beans, $13 down to $3. So I bought 5 bags of those.
It's just, like, it goes to show you how much they're marking this stuff up.
I know. I mean, this must be, like...
Just, like, at cost or something?
Less than cost. Like, they're just trying to get their shelves clear, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
They have a month, I think, was what the guy told me. Because they had things on the... behind, locked doors, as most shit is at Dwayne Reed, but like electric toothbrushes, $140 down to like $38. And I looked them up online, and I legitimately could have bought it and resold it, but I was just like, am I gonna actually do that?
You're gonna do that? Go around the city to
drop shipping? Yeah, I mean, it's not the craziest business idea. It's just
it's called Pawn Stars. I think it's
well, they're not. I think they're more of a receiving. And I would be like basically starting a Amazon drop shipping business with Dwayne Reed products that I've purchased.
It'd be like Marshall's, but for Dwayne Reed products.
I go right outside of CVS and I start selling shit.
Yeah, you buy all of the essential thing and just mark it up a couple dollars. And then
go to the other Dwayne Reed where it's all the same price.
You set up in that section in CVS. You got your table out.
What if I like tried returning it at? I'm sure they would have a fucking setup where that wouldn't work.
Maybe.
Or like I exchange it, some setup. Yeah.
Something like that.
You probably shouldn't be putting this on the podcast.
Yeah, this will go poorly in trial. Like, he stole $14,000 worth of toothbrushes.
How many toothbrushes would that have to be? At $30 a pop.
And what are you selling them for?
Probably 50.
50?
Yeah. $20 a toothbrush.
1,000
of them.
If you sold them at 100 for 14,000, you'd only have to sell 140. So if you sold them at 50, that's 280 for $14,000.
I have to make $14,000?
Well, that was just the number I said randomly, and now that's what I'm imagining you getting tried for.
All right.
$14,000.
I feel like that's probably not worth it for $15,000.
Yeah, well, because also
depends on how fast they're selling, and they only had like one.
That's what I'm saying. 15,000 seems like the upper ceiling on this plan.
If I buy everything at Dwayne Reed, also what they did, which was kind of smart, because we were asking why isn't everything on sale? Like you guys close in a month, and it was very random. Like you would go down an aisle and they had the big orange clearance stickers on whatever was super savings, and they broke down the price savings, but not everything had it at all. Like I would say only 30% of the store. And he said that they just throughout the next month are just going to be picking random shit to put on clearance so that it doesn't all. I guess the idea is that people come in, buy the clearance shit, and then also buy whatever's not on clearance.
Milk it a little longer.
Yeah. But that last 2 weeks they got to just fire sale it. So that's I'll be that gazelle or that lion waiting on the gazelle, sitting in the prairie. Waiting for it all to go on clearance. Dwayne Reed's not fucking ready, dude. I'm out of...
So many Nespresso beans?
I mean, we went back 3 times for the beer because we couldn't believe it. The PBRs, 12 PBRs were $4.49.
That is a crazy price.
Ridiculous. In the city especially, I was like...
New York City? That's...
Right next door?
At a bar, it's $120 for that.
Literally. A PBR. You can get
You can get a little
$4 PBR
Sure,
somewhere in New York.
Sure, but a $10 beer is not unreasonable to expect.
No.
Yeah.
If someone charged me $10 for PBR specifically, I would put that. We should do a beer ranking one of these days. I'm sure the viewers are dying to know where we rank our light beers. But PBR I would put pretty close to the bottom in terms of should be the cheapest beer on the menu.
Keystone.
Yeah, but do they? I don't see Keystone at a bar very often.
Oh, never at a bar.
No,
that's what I mean. All beers.
No, but
that's the
PBR is one that you will see at a bar.
Yeah.
They do have them,
especially down south. I feel like see them.
They love their pibbers down south.
Yeah.
So we'd be talking ill, but Bud Light is probably the normal cheap beer. I would expect to pay less for a Bud Light than I would for pretty much any other beer that they have, except for a PBR.
This is going to be so informative to all our listeners that just turned 21 today. they're like, how can I save money but still have fun at the bar?
I'm sure it's more like they just turned 18 6 months ago.
No, our responsible viewer, he would never do that.
We had that one viewer, right? What was his name?
I don't know.
Ket or something?
Kev.
Yeah, I don't know why I went to Ket.
A real early guy was like, keep going, guys.
You think he's still watching?
I hope so. I don't know. We've talked about him multiple times.
We think about him a lot.
And he's never reached back out.
No.
He was just our little angel.
To be fair, we haven't actually engaged with him. We've just spoken his name.
I think we commented back. We must have.
Sure, but that was we haven't written to him or anything.
Could we? Is that an option? We could write to him.
I think we could figure out, because he had posted videos. We could find out who he is.
Do you remember we auctioned off your moose drawing?
Yeah, did anyone buy it?
Well, no, I'm saying that I hope you didn't get rid of it, because that offer stands.
I was thinking about that the other day. Yeah, no, I don't think anyone bid on it. So I think we started the bidding at reverse -$1.
We would pay them $1 to take it. So,
damn. -5? Should we up the price? All right, you bargain getters.
You called our bluff.
But then, if we're giving them money, we should request some sort of shout out to
and subscribe. I don't know. If you don't know, they don't know what we're talking about. We auctioned off. Brian drew a moose, and we auctioned it off, starting at -$1. Meaning, if you bid on it, we would pay you $1, and you would get this moose drawing.
It was really a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I was about to tell Eddie that some anonymous buyer bought it, and
and he bid $100,000. I'll handle the transaction.
You just send me the money. Yeah. I even if I don't still have it, which I'm pretty sure it's still hanging on my board, I'm pretty sure I could recreate that.
Okay. Nice.
But I am almost positive I still have it. So
good.
Haven't laminated it yet.
It'll pay off eventually.
What if we blow up and someone has it? Whoever we end up giving this to, I'm sure someone at this point. I'll make this the intro. The first 10 seconds will be we will pay you $5 to take this moose picture. It's gonna be that clip right there.
That's not a bad hook.
I mean, that's what we just start all of our episodes we will pay you $8 to.
No, but we gotta really sell it. Tired of not having a moose drawing and $1. Boy, do we have $5. Boy, do we have a product for you. It's a moose drawing and $5.
$5. You're gonna lose your mind when we tell you what we got.
So earlier today, I was watching television, Hulu with ads.
Yeah.
And one of the ads was for HPV. They have
the disease.
Yeah, okay. the sexually transmitted disease.
Yes.
They have those, and it's all I have
positive.
AIDS or whatever. Well, in this one, it opens up, and it's this doctor talking to this guy, and the doctor describes what HPV is, and then he goes to the guy. He's like, "Does that sound like you?" And he's like, "No, man, I'm in a committed relationship." And he's like, "If you're sexually active, it could be you." And it's is he saying he's fucking that guy's wife? Is that is that the message there? Because
your wife could be a whore.
I've seen your wife. She gets around. This vaccine's for you, sir.
I mean, did you look into it? Is it possible to contract it just from your...
But he said you had to be sexually active. So it's like...
Yeah, but like maybe he's saying like your wife could have a dormant HIV, whatever, and that you never knew.
But just...
It is a little implicating.
To the uninformed viewer, such as myself, I'm like, oh, the doctor is fucking this guy's wife. And he has HPV. That's why he's brought in this guy to...
That's why he became a doctor, to try to cure it, and now he's stuck in his own cruel cycle.
But I was like, I'm sure it wasn't intentional. It was just so funny. Because I've definitely seen something like that before, where in those STD commercials, where they're like, the guy's like, I'm in a relationship. I don't need to get the shot.
Nothing to worry about.
And then they're like, no, you do. You're,
buddy, you gotta worry. Trust me. I've seen your wife. I have my poop app, which I think I've mentioned to you before. I log my poops every day. It's lovely.
No pun intended.
No, there's a pun in there. And I kind of almost treat it like a diary. I've noticed.
Put your emotions in there.
Something more like a life vlog style, like just what's going on, what's ever in my head. I don't. No one really reads them. I have.
Do you ever have a sad one where like this poop contains this poop is the last of that meal we had together on our one date?
No. Sometimes it's like really not feeling it, and I'll usually comment on the poop and how it was, and then I'll put some emotions into it.
Okay.
And then whatever.
Well, first of all, how many people are seeing this? Is it more than our podcast?
Like probably right around that number.
I knew it. Fuck. The same level as your poop app.
Well, so like it was a tough question because we have 180 odd subscribers, right?
Yeah, but
they're not all watching.
I would say we average like 10 people watch it all the way through.
Okay, then probably more watching.
All right, nice.
But like the poops that I post, like pretty much everyone. It's like one guy likes every single one of my poops. Colonel Turtle is his name.
You know him?
I do not know him.
Oh, okay.
Dude, I actually might have to show you his profile later. It is terrifying. His profile picture is like his bio literally reads like ex-trucker that drops big turds across the U.S., inventor of like the Chicago mudslide and like the 98 turd slicker. Like,
this sounds like a very normal bio on the poop app.
Sure. But then he started liking all my poops.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know.
He's got a crush, man.
Yeah, I don't know. He seems like a good guy. So like there's like 3 or 4 people that will occasionally like and comment on my poops, but very seldomly comment, mostly just likes. And this guy I had my notifications on, and I looked, and I had like 40 notifications, and it was like Colonel Turtle liked every one of my poops. So I turned notifications off because didn't like seeing that. And then there's this one girl who follows me as well. I have like 8 followers, 10 followers, and I know like 5 of them. So 3 or 4 people random that are getting my
out there, man.
Emotions. I know, I'm blowing up.
What is like a good account number on the poop social media app?
One guy that I follow who's actually like, he seems like a cool guy. He's got like 1,000+ followers.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and he's just poops a lot.
His frequency?
Yes.
No, it's not the glam.
So there are leagues, and he's like number 1, 2, or 3 in this New York league, and I'm number 20. I'm kind of climbing the ranks. You just more poops.
So it's just quantity.
Yes. So you could totally like rig it, but then people would see.
You cut yourself off halfway, come back 30 minutes later. Like make all your poops too.
Some people have like 10 poops a day, and I'm like, okay, what are you counting as a poop?
Yeah.
If I fart and a little bit comes out. Regardless, the whole point of this poop app story, one of the girls, who I think her name's like Carla Schartz, she will occasionally comment, and like she seems just like a girl, maybe my age, maybe a little younger, but a little odd. Definitely if she's logging her. I don't comment on anyone else's.
You're getting all this info about her from photos of her poop.
I don't follow her, to be honest.
Like a Native American tracker.
It's more the comments she'll leave on mine. She'll like ask questions and shit.
But even
anyway,
they have profile pictures that's not poop.
Correct.
Okay.
I personally don't post pictures of the poop. I take a selfie. So if you go through mine, it's just selfies.
I do like the idea as it's not of the poops.
So, I mean, you can. It just feels a little. I don't want to look at my poop. Like I look back, I kind of track my facial hair with it because it's every day. A little selfie. So I'm like, when did I last shave? The Colonel Turtle guy, I looked at him, and he was posting his poops. And that's why I was like, all right, this is fucking gross.
That's why I imagined what the app was.
No.
So right now, it's what I thought.
It's more of like a social media style of like, I'm logging my poops. Here's what I'm up to. No one that I see on it posts the shits.
Okay.
Thank God. Honestly, I wouldn't want to be on the app anymore. Anyway. Carla Schartz.
Now that we know how the app works.
Now that we understand the basis of this app and my, style of poop apping. I went on that. Did I tell you about the first date that was not very great?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or she like wanted to know your salary.
She wanted to know how much money I made on the first date.
Yeah.
Told me I needed to make more money when I gave her a general idea, not even like a number. And then told me I had to shave, get a haircut, bunch of shit. Found out she doesn't even pay her whole rent. Her parents pay half her rent because she lives in a ridiculous neighborhood. Not a fan. Glad we didn't text her again. So I'm pooping the next day, and I was like, or I think it was the day of the date, and I said in my poop log, going on a date with a female tonight, or something like, or I think it was the weekend before, and I was like, want to talk to a female today, something like that. And Carla Schartz responded to my poop. She was like, are you using female ironically? And I could not decide how to respond or what even the fuck she meant. So I was like, clearly she's not happy. You know, it was like why are you commenting this? But I was like, am I using it ironic? Because I
doesn't think that's what I
don't know. She put me in a mental pretzel where
Maybe she thinks you're gay, and you're like, I want to talk to a female today.
But I didn't air quote it. I was like, I can't wait to look. I should talk to a female. I don't know. It's something about I'm going to talk to a female.
Yeah.
She was like, are you using female ironically? And I think I said no. Is it a derogatory? That was the gist of my.
How could that possibly be derogatory? That's just.
I would like to talk to a lady. Is that more proper?
What does she mean?
I had no idea.
She must have misread.
Carla, if you follow. No, she meant it.
And it's tough because I could see interpreting that as like aggressive, or her trying to be funny, or like.
I read it as aggressive.
Aggressive.
Yeah, like why are you calling us females? Or I don't know. I was confused and scared. I don't like confrontation. That's why I don't like debating going private and just keeping this poop app thing as a diary. Cause
I do love the idea of some girl out there doing like being social activism on the poop app.
Yeah.
Like that's where she's like, this space has been bigoted for too long.
The poop world has been dominated by men for years.
Male-dominated industry of pooping.
It is, to be fair. Females, I see, that felt derogatory there a little bit. Females, fucking.
She could say anything like that. Crabs.
No, but like when I'm saying it like females, often will be like, I don't poop, I just fart.
Yeah. I will say, I don't love when dudes are like, we're the females. Like I've heard guys say that. And I just
where the ladies at? Is that more?
I would take that honestly, because the where's the females? I'm like, I don't know. What are you trying to do? I just feel.
Sounds like you're asking what Carla Schartz asked me. Like that's kind of the tone
I got. You weren't like, where my females at? Like, do you understand?
For the record, I've never heard anyone. It's where my bitch is at, or something like that.
Yes. Well, they're subbing in bitches. They're subbing in word female.
Where the females at?
Yeah, when it's used in that context. It's not that I'm offended, but I'm like, it just sounds.
I've definitely
who hears that and is like, well, now I'm hyped. Like, who's
the females all
female?
We're here.
A bunch of like anthropologists are like, yes.
So you do think female implies a certain?
No, I just think in that context.
Anthropologists? Where'd that come from?
Well, I was just like,
are all females or all anthropologists females?
Well, I just thought anthropologists talk that way, where they're like males of this tribe. Yeah, it was more like I was trying to imagine the people.
I got super on the offense there. I was like, you big raise.
I was trying to imagine who would get hyped at wherever the females at.
You were going straight like vocabulary breakdown.
It's like that's where.
Fair. I did have a the word you just said. Say it again out loud. Anthropologist. My anthropology teacher. It's actually the only class that I took with my brother at UConn because he was a year below me, and we had different TAs, which was like they did most of the grading.
Yeah.
The professor, you went to the lecture like once a week or something, and it was just a big lecture hall. And the first lecture, she starts going on a rant. I could tell I wasn't a huge fan of this lady. She starts giving like her politics basically and getting way too involved. And I'm looking at I'm like, this is anthropology, right? Like, and she was wearing like not a blazer, like I guess a women's jacket of sorts. And she had a microphone on, like a stapled on mic, and it fell off or it got muffled and she had to fix it. And she's like, and you want to know why this microphone just fell off? It's because it's designed for a man's lapel. Because this is a man's world. I was like, what class? I thought I was in the wrong fucking class. And then I looked up her salary. She made like $250,000 a year.
Lecturing at UConn?
Because she was like the head of the anthropology department or something.
Okay.
You know, she was a professor.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I was astounded. And like our TA was very normal, taught us what we were supposed to learn.
Makes $4,000 a year.
We probably paid them to be a TA. And this lady was just like using her time to not, like, she didn't teach us anything. She just like basically gave us her opinion on the world, which it was my least favorite class, because I was like, I'm not paying to listen to this lady rant.
Anthropology is one of those ones like the study of humans.
Yeah.
So you can kind of do
whatever. Yeah. Every other professor was like at least giving some sort of guidance as to like how I got here. Because I was in marketing. Half of their marketing professors were like successful businessmen. They were like, I'm kind of bored. Let me go teach some college students.
Yeah.
But at least they told us like how they made their money and like good practice. This lady was just spewing nonsense. Not a fan. And now I'm not an anthropologist. I went into marketing. She ruined me. What do you do as an anthropologist?
You like try to explain human behavior, usually in like context of like ancient tribes and whatnot. I don't know.
I'm thinking more like psychologist would be human behavior though now.
Yeah, but it's like at the group level. I don't know. I really don't know, obviously.
You
That's
become
my
a
best
professor
guess.
pretty much?
That's my best guess. Yeah.
Or like
teach. Well, you could write papers and then eventually write a book.
Am I silly to think that fossils are involved with anthropology?
That's archaeology.
Okay.
Closely, they imagine that they work hand in hand.
I totally was thinking archaeology.
But no, dude, that would be crazy if she was doing that in an archaeology class.
It might as well have been.
Like she's supposed to be showing you how to dust off dinosaur bones. It's just like,
she's like, this is a man's bone. We're not going to dust this one. I did take a, what is it, family studies class or something like that, where it was definitely like not so much political agenda, but there was like some opinions. But I honestly appreciated that class because it wasn't anthropology. Like, it was more specific. At least she was teaching us shit. She was teaching us like how realistically the world works and like stats, whatever. I liked that class, and she was definitely an opinionated woman. I want to just let the viewers know I'm not against opinionated women. I just didn't think in the context.
Unless they're anthropologists.
Yeah, specifically anthropologists and horse girls. You're not allowed to have strong opinions. Sorry to all of our horse girl fans.
Yeah. No, dude, I did a mic the other day, and this one comic, it was all white dudes and one tiny Asian lady who was like 25 or something. And one dude going up, and I forget, he had a joke where in the joke he kills a woman at some point, which isn't terribly uncommon. So then the lady goes up, and she spends all 5 minutes talking about angry, sarcastic kind of way, being like how she's in a dark basement with guys that talk about killing women and how I'm so sure of my safety right now, implying we're going to murder her. That was the implication. But
was it funny?
No, it was dead silence. But then she gets on stage and she sits back down. I'm like, what is this? If we're all going to murder you.
I'm actually concerned that you might be murdering us.
I'm like, stick to your guns here. Run.
Leave.
Run.
Get out of here. You're right. This is a
murder you. I would be terrified if I thought I was in a room full of 12 guys that were going to murder me.
There's comedy there. Like that is like the way you were saying it was kind of funny.
Yes, but hers was like
too serious.
And it was at us. It was at all of us. So we're all like,
you're supposed to laugh at us.
We were looking at each other like, what the fuck? Are you the murderer? Yeah, you.
Not me.
You say you were going to murder her? Yeah.
Do you recall Sarah Smolak from elementary school? Smolak, yeah.
And can you describe her?
She had like bleach blonde hair. I mean, we were in elementary school, but
okay. Well, yeah.
And
I was looking for blonde or black hair. That's
blonde hair.
All I remember.
No. And she was she was particularly nutty for elementary school. At least I recall. And I definitely was a crazy girl for elementary school, but whatever. I think she had like kind of odd parents too. I think you just muted yourself, put your back.
I did.
My mom sent me an article this morning, and I just reminded me because of Horse Girl. She was like really into animals growing up. Like elementary school, I remember she had, one of her birthday parties was like a petting zoo style thing where like we pet a chinchilla. That was kind of cool. She got some points, even though she kind of sucked in elementary school. She did introduce us to the chinchilla, so that was sweet.
That is cool.
But then she was like super into horses and like obsessed with dogs. And I remember like one of her dogs maybe died or something.
Did we go to her birthday party and she had a horse we could all ride around the yard?
I think that was maybe.
I have a photo of me in
I do too, but I don't.
On a horse in a
I don't
Halloween
remember
costume.
if that was her. I remember that, and they had like snakes. Those people as well.
Cool.
Yeah, but I don't think that was her. If I'm being honest.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. It was a good question. She was really just an odd duck, and I remember like would freak out in elementary school and got really sad one time about her dog. Like that was a memory. Anyway, my mom sent me I haven't spoken to her since elementary school. Basically, I think I followed her on Instagram maybe 5 years ago because I saw her and she was like a dog trainer or something. I was like, all right, found her spot. Mm-hmm. She got arrested this morning for animal abuse. She had like 30 fucking dogs in her house, dude. And when I Googled, because my mom sent me this like random article, and when I Googled her name, so many articles came up. And like I tried to find her Instagram, but when I Google or I Instagram or Twitter search her name, one of the dogs that she had taken, and they actually still haven't found, Marshmallow, was like a semi-famous pit bull from New York or something. And that was what basically got her fucked because Marshmallow never came home and she was the last person to have him, and she's got like an army against her. And so this morning when I searched her name, it was like confetti on everybody. They're like, Sarah Smolak has finally gone down. Like, dude, like, I mean, hundreds of posts about her. Hundreds. So she must have really shaken the beehive.
Wait, so what'd she do with the dog? It didn't come home. Like, what? Like
they haven't found Marshmallow. So, like, she was a foster care.
Marshmallow was not her dog.
No. So what she would do is, like, shelters, I imagine, or, like, animal rescues.
Yeah, you can, like, take care of a dog.
They are often looking for foster homes that are like willing to take these dogs so that they can get more dogs.
Yeah.
And she, from what I was reading this morning, over the past like 5 years had been accepting a lot of dogs, like clearly more than she could, but one shelter doesn't talk to the other shelter. They don't check where it is really. And so then Marshmallow was part of that crew of dogs that were accepted, and then when they were asking for updates, she like stopped responding all of a sudden, had a bunch of excuses, and then they showed up. There were like 20 fucking dogs, and they were all covered in piss, shit, whatever. So they got the FBI, or not the FBI, the fucking police, but they raided her house. That's right, I thought FBI. It was a police raid.
The FBI, where's Marshmallow?
Dude, that's how the tweets and shit we're reading this morning. Like, okay, we got her. Now where the fuck is Marshmallow? So he was a really cute little pit bull that got like stabbed in the head with a knife, and they rehabbed him, and then he got sent to Demon Girl.
And then her 30 dogs ate him.
Who knows,
That's
dude?
what they do. They eat the newcomers.
Like, you would think if you're obsessed with dogs, I get where it's like you basically have a disease where you just can't say no. But how can you look at your dog sitting in squalor and like not think they are better off somewhere else? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. Maybe they're of like just hate shelters or something like that, and they're like, at least they're not there.
Yeah, because this
is better.
Dude, how many dogs could you fit in your apartment realistically? How many dogs could you watch for a weekend in your apartment? Like the absolute max.
Absolutely.
Let's say a week.
Also, it depends so much on the dog. I wouldn't want to watch one dog that wasn't trained.
Let's just assume
If they were all Hershey, my dog, I could take 20. You know what I mean?
20? That's what I'm saying.
For a weekend.
Let's do 7 days. You could not do 20 Hershey's.
No, not for 7 days. For a weekend when I have nothing else to do, I could do it.
20?
Yeah.
In New York?
Weekends, 2 days. All right, so like
But you got to take them outside.
Yeah, but I've seen the guys
with 20. No, never 20. Like
close.
10 is.
I took a photo the other day.
Let's see.
A ton of dogs. Maybe not 20.
Phone?
Yeah, my old one. The recording didn't work. Let's see how many dogs this guy had.
Couldn't shoot your OnlyFans.
All right, it's definitely
promos.
not 20.
I was gonna say
1, 2,
like
3,
10
4,
would be
5,
a ton.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's not unfeasible.
But he's not walking them. But
Well, no, but he was inside. I took the photo of him while he was inside.
1, 2, 3, 4,
He's
5,
not-
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
What did I say?
You said 14.
Did you count the black lab in the way back there? He's tucked away.
Yeah, you counted the backpack, I think, as one.
Maybe.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 I got now. There's trying to count noses. It's hard to count dogs when they're all bunched together.
Yeah. No, they're all... They do just look like a mass of dogs.
How do you think... Do you think you have to, like, try out your dog for that setup? Because you can't just throw any random dog into a 13, 14-man pit.
It's 13. I just counted again.
Okay.
But, say that again?
Like, you think there's a tryout for that kind of, like, a spot on the 14, 13-man leash?
Well, I heard that, like, the top dog walkers that are sought after and have a good reputation and do... Like, that dude is getting paid, like, $50 a dog or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
And he's walking all of them for an hour. So he's just making... If he does that, like, 3 times a day...
Not even. I mean, like...
Well, even less, if he can always have that many dogs... Wealthy. He's a wealthy man.
He's making like $1,000 a day.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. The top dog walkers are actually like really well off.
But you don't work. I mean, I guess you do work year round, right? You're not.
Sure. Yeah.
But I don't know.
Because it's just people go to work and they want their dog to go out for an hour during the day. So that's what the guy does.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you have a good reputation and someone recommends you, they're like, all right, this guy's not going to steal from me because you have to give them your keys, and he's not going to murder my dog.
I'm more so thinking about the dogs tryout, because imagine if you have like not necessarily the most well-trained dog, now he's on a leash with 13 other dogs.
I was also thinking that, yeah.
Like I mean, I'm sure it's happened, but like a dog fight where they're all wearing the one fucking leash seems insane. Like, I don't know how I would usually pull the leashes.
I bet there are great YouTube videos of that.
Yeah, and like, does the guy jump in, or like, what's his
true.
stance?
Well, hey, when you're a dog walker and you're up to 13 dogs, you get to be picky.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, do you think he does like a tryout where he's like, let me get your dog, give me an hour with your dog,
Probably,
and I'll let you know if he passes the vibe check.
You can't.
You can't just be accepting random dogs.
Yeah.
Or maybe what he does is he accepts all these clients, works them in, and then, like, you know, you spend a couple days with the dog, you can probably get an idea of what kind of temper it is, and then he starts like mapping and combining. He's like, oh, actually, would a Thursday at 3:15 work for you and your dog? And then he's just like, he's combining them without necessarily telling
Or less
them.
work. He gives each dog a Xanax when he picks it up.
Yeah.
And he's like...
He doesn't even walk the dog.
Doesn't he?
Oh, he's exhausted. We went to the park. He ran for hours.
That's what he does. He puts them all on a leash, and he sits them outside his apartment for an hour.
Takes an Instagram picture.
Yeah.
Could you be a dog walker, you think?
If I could go right to that level, yeah, I would do it for sure.
Well, like, let's say comedy at night, dog walking during the day.
Yeah, but again, I would have to make at least what I make now. So, like, I would...
That seems, like, far-fetched for dog walking.
That guy's probably making more than me. If he's doing that twice a day, he makes probably more than me.
I'm imagining I guess twice a day is pretty realistic.
Right? I'm almost kind of guessing at prices here. $50 per dog walk just feels right in New York City. I don't know.
Maybe a little bit less, just because, like, dog watching, I would say is probably closer to, like, 25, 30. And actually, I don't know. I have no idea.
No idea on dog care prices.
My
in New
friends
York
have
City.
dogs. I could ask.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll get back to you guys.
I know, like, doggy daycare, but that's where you drop them off.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
different,
$80 a day, but that's all day, and your dog is getting, like, his shit stroked the whole time, basically. Like,
At a doggy daycare?
yeah, well, he's just partying with other dogs, and it's you know,
he's just in a big room with dogs.
Sure, but like, you pay for one walk. It's like, yes, he gets a human.
You're paying for, like, the guy comes to your apartment, picks up your dog. That's where I think the price comes in.
Sure, but like, I think it would be more expensive for them to watch your dog all day. Your dog is getting entertained for 6 hours versus the 30, 40-minute walk.
Yeah, maybe. I don't
Like, imagine you have a kid.
Let's build from the ground up the dog care economy in New York City.
Yeah, I wonder what the top dog...
Yeah.
Who's making the most money in dog care? Probably, like, crematoriums.
Yeah, vets.
Vets, for sure.
Yeah.
They're robbing you.
I used to have a joke where it was like there doesn't seem to be any limitations on having a vet put your dog down. You know, like, you could be like, well, you bring your dog in, the vet's like, what's wrong? Is he sick? I'm like, no, he jumped on the couch. kill him.
I think you're wrong. I think that would be considered animal cruelty. No,
Maybe, yeah.
Because that's what I was reading. This fucking article this morning was like she's getting tried for these dogs not, living nicely. She denied surgery for one of the dogs. That was what tipped them off as well. So, and it was like a life-saving surgery, and they were like, that's technically animal cruelty. But I was kind of thinking, like, it's a really expensive surgery. All right, sorry, buddy. It's your time.
Can't afford it? If I can't afford my dog surgery, I go to jail.
You go to jail? Like, fuck. Dog looks at you like, he's got 911. Sorry, pal.
Yeah.
But maybe it's like a like if it's a puppy, you could, not a puppy, but young dog, you could still give it up versus keeping it and not giving it the surgery. Like just straight up killing it. I don't know. Do you have like a dog lawyer?
Yeah. No, so what else? I've been doing this roast battle thing for a number of weeks now.
You've been doing it. You're crushing it, dog.
Well, so far, I've been victorious. But there's been
4-0. 3-0.
3-0, yeah. But what it's made me realize is I think that there are just 8 people in this group that don't like me. Because every single battle I've done so far, I've won, but the other person has gotten 8 votes.
Every time it's 8 votes?
It was 7 once, but I was like,
You're gaining haters.
The people change who's there. It's not the same every week, but it's like the same core group. So I'm like,
how many voters are there in total?
Like just over 30. Like it's like 25 to 8. It's like a typical score. But I'm like, if it happens again, I'm gonna be like, there's just 8 of you that just really don't like me. You
should turn on them in your next roast.
Yeah.
And this next paragraph is for the judge.
I had to pin them down because I was like, it's just too. I don't know. If it happens again, I'm gonna be like, there's something.
So you're doing another one?
Yeah, on Friday. I've got another one.
Is this the finale or is it semifinale?
If I win this one, I go to the finale.
Jeez, they're milking this thing,
dude. It started with the 36 comments.
Do you win a prize?
I get spots. Nothing. Nothing worth it, but it was worth. I wanted to do a roast battle once, so I did this one.
Yeah, but now you're doing 5.
Yeah, but I don't know. My next roast opponent is like a hot lady, and so it's weirder. You know what I mean? Because the typical lady roast is like, you're ugly and you're fat. You know what I mean? Like, that's the angle you take. So I don't know what to do.
Yeah, do you have any plans? Your last couple, it seems like you've had a theme of...
I have been, doing crazy stuff, but I think I'm coming across as pretentious, like, not respecting the roast by... Like, last time, for the audience, I made, like, a big Dr. Seuss book, and I read it to the audience about the guy doing awful things. Killed, but it's like... You know what I mean? Like, I've done something like that 3 times.
That's
now.
what I'm kind of saying. Like, you can't just keep roasting nothing about them. You have to kind of be more.
So I want to do a regular one this time. I'm just gonna do nothing. But
are you gonna interview this one like your last lady?
No, I don't know.
She's too hot for that.
I'm too nervous to do anything like that.
Do you think? You could totally. I'm sure she gets that a lot if she's that attractive. But like, you don't even deserve to be here. You're just.
I was thinking about I was going to talk a lot about how she's going to age poorly. It just seems like the angle. It seems like the most fertile angle roasting a hot lady.
That would, I imagine, make her upset.
Sure, but it's better. Like
no. Like
one line I was thinking was like, her name's Fiona, whatever. Fiona has an hourglass figure in the sense that the sands of time are going to run her dry. Something like that. But
I think that could work.
Well, also, the other thing I'm worried about, the guy that roasted her last, who lost to her, came across as mean. It was bad for him, because his roasts were like, it wasn't even like a...
Wait, just it's a fucking roast.
No, I understand, but it wasn't even like jokes, it was just mean statements. He's like, this I was like, shit you not. And I just hope that this isn't like...
Did you similarly think that he was being mean?
Yeah, I was like... Because it wasn't like, this is my clever joke. You know what I mean? It was like... and watch this be the one podcast of mine he watches. But anyway, he goes up there, and he's like... You're not funny, and people only book you because you're hot. Like, what? That wasn't like a clever twist.
Yeah.
It was just like... It was all along those lines.
Damn.
And so
it didn't hit?
Not only did it, well, like, he did okay, but, like, everyone was watching, and it just became awkward. Everyone's like, this is not...
I get that, but, like, it is a a roast.
It is a roast, but when you just say it, like imagine, like if I went up,
it's a joke roast. Like you have to be funny.
If I went up to I roasted an old lady a couple times ago, and if I went up there and I was like, I just hate you. I think you're a bad person, and it's ridiculous. Just kill yourself. Like that's not a roast. You know what I mean?
I could see it.
Okay, I could also see it working. But I think everyone understands the point I'm trying to make.
After that's like a final statement. Like, I just let them know, I fucking hate you. All right, well, it seems like you got your work cut out. You got a couple days to prep. I won't post this till tomorrow, so she only has...
whenever. If she listens this far on the podcast, that viewer is worth more to me than this roast tournament.
It's true.
And this will probably be the only time a hot lady's listening to our pod right now.
Just to get info on
for real.
This Dr. Seuss fucking roast, dude.
Yeah. Well, the last guy got a ton of info on me. He knew my, I go by, he still my real name is Logsdale. He knew that. He
doxed you?
He doxed me. He knew, what my dad did, what my mom did, how many siblings I had.
What?
Like, my dad was fine. It's not too hard to find.
Your mom?
You're digging. You're digging. She's big. She's big for a high school you know what I mean? She's big in the Catholic scene.
I guess once you know her name, it's probably
Logsdale,
one... Yeah.
Number of siblings, and... But I was sitting there, and I'm like, fuck, man.
You put way too much time. Well, what did he use this information for?
Well, he wrote roast. It was all about my mom had a lot of kids, and so her vagina is large. That was the theme of his. It was jokes around that. Yeah.
Your poor mother.
I know.
She didn't deserve that.
And I was so excited about my book. I was gonna show my family. I can't send them
this clip.
This clip of me.
Yeah, they only get to see your.
I might clip it up that way. I kind of do want to post it because it did well, and it's material I'll never use again, but I'm like, I would have to post his part, too, to be fair a little bit, I'll think about it.
I mean, you won, so if anything, it makes him look like a pervert, honestly.
No, he did well. He was getting laughs, too. I
feel like obviously roasting someone's mom is...
It's typical.
Fair
it was
game.
Nothing out of line. And there were funny jokes. People were laughing. So I was like, all right. Fair enough. You got it.
Wide vagina.
Yeah.
Nothing about did he know your Catholic roots? Your mother's...
Yeah, he did. He didn't have anything about it. He did. The thing that I think really turned it my way is he did the joke. He goes, Eddie studied math and physics. I didn't study physics.
Fucking idiot.
In other words, he was a massive virgin. And I'm like, what are you? Come on. Just think
bunch
of something.
Of math and physics guys in the audience just like...
But it's just not a good joke. You know what I mean? It's just like...
Yeah, but that's... If you're doing a bunch of jokes in a roast, you got to throw a couple of those...
But that was the joke. You get 5 the jokes, and then you get clapbacks if you want them.
You only get 5 jokes?
Yeah, it's 5 back and forths. That's how it works. I say one, he says one.
I was thinking it was like...
you could just in each other rap battle.
More like you get 2 minutes.
Oh, no.
To just go off.
It's like
that makes way more sense.
Yeah.
So he wasted a joke on you being a virgin.
Yeah.
It's not even a joke. That's the truth.
Yeah. He's just out there being honest.
just spitting facts. It's not funny.
Well, whatever. He had a good set. But
not good enough. So you're going to be a roast comedian now?
No, I'm never doing this again.
What if they ask you to go to Comedy Central?
Well, that doesn't exist anymore. But if it came back, I would.
The roasts don't exist? Or I guess Netflix.
Central.
Comedy Central doesn't exist.
As far as I think that they still have.
They exist, the channel.
No, I think they still have the Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, one of the Jimmys. But that's it. They don't do specials anymore or anything.
No, but the channel exists.
It plays reruns and stuff.
The network.
If you're a comedian out there listening, don't pin your hopes on Comedy Central.
What's the goal? Netflix?
It's just views.
Your own brand kind of thing? Like YouTube?
Shane Gillis got 40 million views on his special on YouTube. That's way better than virtually any Netflix special, You
don't think he makes more money off the Netflix special, though?
Initial payout, but that's not... Your special is supposed to be like an ad for people to come see you on the road.
Sure.
You make money selling tickets. So overall, way more money, 40 million views on YouTube than...
Sure, but I would almost argue that, a YouTube view is a less engaged... you see a comedian on Netflix with their Netflix special, your family might be watching that Netflix special. That is a ticket-buying setup more than YouTube.
Yeah, I see what you mean. 'Cause YouTube
I'm sure they
counts after
work
4 seconds, but like,
Yeah, and like, you know, I watch a bajillion YouTube videos, whatever, and then you watch a Netflix special.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I saw this guy on Netflix versus a comedian on YouTube. Obviously, Shane is like beyond Netflix and YouTube pretty much at this point. He's probably
him and Nate Bargatze, probably biggest comedians.
Yeah, and Sebastian
ticket sales,
Maniscalco, I feel like sells arenas out too.
Yeah.
He does really well.
Well, there's lots of arena comics, but I think,
sure, but I feel like he's up there. I would say
Shane, he's so popular, and then Nate Bargatze, because not only is he popular, he's clean.
He's clean, and
so people say that like most comedians, they'll sell 2 tickets.
Yeah,
a guy and his girlfriend. Nate Bargatze sells
5.
Family.
He's got the minivan parking in the.
Yeah. So he does. Yeah. So those two, I think, in terms of ticket sales, are big.
Brian Regan probably did fairly decent.
Yeah,
as a touring comedian because he was clean.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, he was doing theaters. The arena thing is largely new.
Yeah.
It was like Andrew Dice Clay, and that was it until the last 10 years or so.
And then I like Tom Segura, I feel like, and Bert Kreischer were.
Bert Kreischer, I think, did arenas. I don't think of Tom.
Oh, really? I feel like Tom, I've seen him do.
He does big venues. Maybe he's not. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think he has.
But he doesn't like do an arena tour.
Dan Cook did some arenas.
That's a good example.
Dan Cook was like, I remember his story was like he got really big at colleges. He was just going to a bunch of colleges and doing shows there.
The first guy to do social media.
Yeah.
It was his MySpace page.
And exactly, MySpace.
And
they were killing it in college.
Yeah.
He was also like cokehead style of comedy,
yeah.
just like, but he was funny. I remember him being the first. I remember I said last week or last episode that Brian Regan was like the first comedian that I saw, and I do think that was true. But Dan Cook was definitely the first comedian I saw and didn't tell my parents about. Like I would secretly watch Dan because he was so wrong. Like I remember his words. I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe he just said that."
Talks about having sex with a rhino or something.
Yeah, exactly. He was funny.
You know what? You heard it. You know what happened to him, right?
Didn't his brother take a bunch of his money?
His brother stole
half his money. Yeah,
more than half.
Was it his full brother, like Jack?
It was his half brother, and he
can't trust the half brother.
Took care of all the finances, and basically he spent all the money and just would only give Dane whatever he needed.
Damn.
And then eventually, obviously, this came out, and he's like, "Well, you're also broke now. Like, you don't have."
Wait, so Dan Cook lost a lot of money?
Dan Cook lost all his money.
He's not bankrupt.
Not bankrupt. Don't get me wrong, but like he went from 100 millionaire to thousandaire.
Sorry.
You know, that was my understanding. I don't know the numbers.
I think he's doing because I don't know. I remember that
he needed movies and stuff. Yeah. I'm not saying he's poor. I'm saying he lost hundreds of millions.
Good Luck Chuck, great movie.
Yeah. Or what's the one where they're in the
Employee of the Month? Good movie too. Actually, a really good movie.
I liked that movie.
Very funny. Jessica Alba, right? I think she's in both. Mm-hmm. She's definitely Good Luck Chuck.
Oh, your new Happy Gilmore's coming out.
I know.
Pumped for it.
I follow like a bunch of pro golfers online, and like every single one of them posted the trailer because they're all in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler is in the movie, which is
John Daly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
John Daly makes more sense.
Yeah, he's
Scotty's like a God-fearing Christian lover. Fucking.
He's just a good golfer. It's fun. I like it.
Who, John or Scotty?
Well, I like both that they're in. Yes. I like John that he's in there more.
Yes. John Daly's a funny guy.
Yeah.
Kind of a nut though.
Yeah. He's signed by Hooters. It's hilarious.
His son is signed by Hooters.
Yeah, I know. Him and his son pose with that's such a funny. Can you imagine with your dad?
Get over here, son.
We gotta take some photos of these big-titted broads.
But also, when your dad is someone like a rock star sorts, that's probably the least of your worry.
I guess so, yeah.
At least you're bonding with your dad at that point.
I've never even heard my dad say, like, lust over a lady. You know what I mean? Or even be like, that lady's hot. Nothing even close to that.
I've definitely heard my dad suggest that a woman is attractive. Yeah. Almost like in front of my mom, though. It's not like he's hiding it. Mm-hmm. Oh, dude. My grandfather's in a rehab center right now because he broke his femur. I was telling you this. And I went to just hang out with him last night because my grandma, who's usually visiting, they're selling their house. So she has to be away for like 3 days. And I do get that they don't want him alone in there, but they posted to the family group chat, was like, we need all hands on deck. Like, basically they need someone just hanging out with him for a couple hours each day. Uh-huh. Fine. But, like, I got there last night at 6. The dude's chilling. Like, and he's got some very attractive nurses. The one nurse that walked him around when I was there, I was like, she was beautiful. And I looked at him, and I'm like, Hector, he's like, it's not all bad. And, we were chatting, and I honestly had a pretty good time just talking to him because he's so fucking old, but his memory is pretty there. Like, long-term memory. Like, he'll take him a second to, like, figure out who I am, but his telling me about when he was in South Korea, and because I think he was in the Navy, or...
You're giving him PTSD?
No, he was telling good stories. He was telling me how I bought this, like, fucking cloth and brought it back and all this shit. And then he's like... And the women, the women there. It's like, some of the nurses here. He's like, I have never seen butts this big as some of the nurses here. I'm like, yeah, Hector, it's a good time.
It never goes away, dude.
But I did. Sorry for watching Hector. I helped him go to the bathroom at one point, and I was helping him get back in, and he was, he's not wearing any pants. He's just in like a top, basically, and. The nurse helped us get in the wheelchair, but she wasn't there when he got out, and I was like, I got you, dude. I can lift. And so at first he was trying to be a little cautious to cover his junk, but once, his leg's in like a cast or a brace, and it's like, I'm like, dude, it's fine. He's like, yeah. And like he gave up, he fully admitted to, I had to lift his legs, put him over, and I'm looking, it's hard to not, there's almost nothing there.
What do you mean almost nothing?
Like, he's, not a
Ken doll? Like, what are you talking about? I would imagine very long balls.
I saw no balls. And
what?
Dude, well, I mean, he's like sitting, so they could have been below, but like, there's no, I didn't know if I wasn't seeing it, but then I thought I saw his dick for a little second, and I was like, oh no, like, and I didn't bring it up, and I get him on the bed, and he goes, can you just, after he gets all set, he's like, can you just throw me a towel or a blanket? He's like, so I can keep some semblance of decency here. And I'm like, oh, Hector, I've seen it all. He goes, there's not much to see anymore, man.
Anymore? Like, does your penis shrink when you get old?
So that was the first thing I did when I got home, and it absolutely does, because you lose testosterone and just like the wrinkles, and it essentially shrinks in. And yeah, I saw it first.
See, how chubby is he?
He's, he's not chubby, but he's definitely like, he's actually lost some weight being in the hospital, but he's shorter guy. He's probably like 5'7", 5'8", but like stocky, but like old man stocky, not fat by any means, but like definitely he's bigger now.
Okay.
But like his stomach wasn't hanging over his junk.
Yeah, but I think some guys, even like I don't know what you call that area.
Dude,
fat.
I don't know, man. Well,
swells up and takes away an inch of your cock sometimes.
I see that wasn't the issue because I could see it all, but it was. I know. Use it while you got it. But what doesn't change is the mentality.
Yeah, that's worse, man. If I lose my penis, I don't want that feeling.
To be fair, though, his penis is like the least of his issues at the moment. Like, that is definitely last thing on the list to get out of this fucking hospital. But, yeah, not much to look forward to in that department. Unless you have some, like, monster cock. And you're waiting for those golden years to like finally have a normal size penis.
Some relief at last.
Oh, finally!
How old is
It's like 96, 95. Okay. He's very old. Like his penis has no use other than it's probably easier to piss. Maybe. I don't know.
One of the nurses was like, Hector, I need you. He'd be like, no. Do you think he'd just be very solemn about it?
You probably get like a bald penis massage all in one grip, and
it's like the same as licking a clit.
Yeah, exactly. Penis. And like at that point, it's like obviously I'm not pleasing this woman in any way, shape, or form. So clearly she's just here for me.
That's what clits are. Like
your penis just.
Like if there's a stage where like you would become a boy, will become a girl.
Well, we all start off as women, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, whatever it is. But like if you become a boy.
No, I started off as a woman, right?
What is the clit would have been the penis, and the reverse is like the dudes have that little seam on their gooch that would have been our vaginas.
I don't have a seam in my gooch. What are you talking about?
Well, Brian is.
Whoa!
You're a male from Central. The sperm touch. They're like, no seam.
This weirdo over here's got gooch seams. I got Gucci seams, if that's what you're talking about.
Some dude's like, he's like super straight. He sands down his seam. He's like, nothing, no signs.
Woman. There was never anything woman about me. We're at 54 minutes, dude.
It sounds like time for jokes.
It sounds like maybe another sip of that martini before we get into jokes. I think mine was a little heavier, and you're just looking kind of light. Hey. We don't pressure here. We just have smooth rhymes and
good times.
Good times here on the Moose Lounge. Got you mid breath.
Sip.
Exhale. You been watching any White Lotus?
No.
Oh, dude, you should.
I've heard it's good.
It is.
All right. You want to go first?
Sure. Oh, I like the handwriting on this one.
Nice. Just go for it.
Okay.
Just dive in.
Yeah, I want to make sure I can read all the words.
Okay.
I don't botch it first. Terrible news. According to the most recent sales report, the number of teenagers addicted to heroin has more than doubled.
Okay. Does it say? It says my most recent sales report.
Okay.
Right?
Yes, it does. It does. You rushed me through reading it. Well, according to my most recent sales report, heroin has doubled.
Yeah, the number of teens doing heroin is double. That makes you both. You're just the heroin dealer.
I understand.
That's the joke.
And the statistician.
Yeah, and the sales manager.
And the reporter, apparently.
You're everything, man. And you're disappointed about the way your neighborhood's going. You've got to take both sides of this. After a long and detailed analysis of Jupiter's orbit, our nation's top astrologists have discovered that Lauren is going to have a bad day.
That's funny. That's a good one. Imagine that's what they're doing back there. They're like studying the stars. Like, we need to know if a Sagittarius is going to have a shitty morning.
I would imagine the astrologists do go to like the astronomer's website or whatever they post and be like, oh yeah, look, Jupiter's
frowning.
Sorry, it's not going to work out between you two.
Yeah, he's definitely cheating on you.
Yeah. Did the doctor tell you have HPV? He's cheating on you.
If you're sexually active, you or your partner, as the new CEO of Tunneling Incorporated, I plan to run this company into the ground. And I swear we're going to do it. We're going to bury the competition. Oh.
That is a style of joke where you could write 5,000 of those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just any negative phrase. You know, like, as the CEO of Bonfires Incorporated, I will watch our sales go up in smoke.
Trying to think of another one.
For the first time in the history of the United States, a man has been sentenced to death for bestiality. His last meal was stuffed crab, although it was just regular crab when he got it.
One final act.
One final act.
That's a good one.
Thanks.
Michael? You're
You're
taking acceptance of his...
Well, we have two Michaels. Michael Stand and Michael Raffone.
I always forget about his Compson.
Our intern's intern.
Yeah. That's how well this podcast is doing. Yeah. We got our interns with interns.
All right.
Good epi.
That's a good up. Peace.
Hope you guys think the same. Shit episode.